Good morning, everyone. This is Chichewa Wolfwoman. Greetings to you all. Had the calling to come on and talk about the energy centers, also known as the chakras within, and just to explain where we're at, from my understanding, as the whole is coming together, piece by piece, so to speak, as each of us ignite our lights within, and clear out that which isn't serving and take our place on the medicine wheel of life. And so we know, we've all heard of spiritual growth within the body. I've talked about it before. Other people have, others have spoken about it as well. And so this is, and this isn't what we're focusing on, but just to sort of explain this so that I can describe the difference of. And so as the spiritual body ignites and grows and comes into its knowing, our physical body moves through ailments, feelings of flu-like symptoms, vomiting, nausea, headaches. So our physical body moves through the growth as our spiritual has just grown. So they all have to flow together. As the spiral flows, they have to flow together. So naturally, all bodies, when they're affected through any growth, we're going to feel it within. So this is the connection between spiritual growth, for lack of a better explanation, affecting physical body, and us moving through symptoms of what feel like sickness, but it's really just our physical body catching up to our spiritual, mental body. So what we're talking about today is the energy centers and the feelings that we feel as our energy centers start realigning. And there's a lot of information out there when it comes to what do our energy centers feel like when they're out of balance, when they're too open, when they're too closed. And this I'm not going to focus on so much, as what I'm going to focus on is now the connection of our energy centers to the whole. So we can see that as to the universe, to Mother Earth, to the collective, however it resonates with you. But ultimately, it's a connection to the whole is how I see it. And so, or I understand it, so to speak. So what it is, as our energy centers are now, we're at a point, we just moved through the spring equinox, fall equinox, depending on where you are, and the super full moon. And together they just went through conception of a new energy. And this new energy birth, the beginning is near, the beginning is now, is actually what it just birthed. And so it's this new energy. And so this new energy is calling out to our energy centers to connect. So you see that we have been supported by the energies of the whole, and I speak of unseen and seen, to realign with our intended state of being so that we can take our place on the hoop of life and function as a whole. And so there are many energies in place supporting this happening as we move into the crossroads of the eighth fire prophecy. Also, we can recognize that as the Hopi prophecy and the rainbow prophecy. So this time where decisions have to be made within to ignite without. And so there are all these energies that are in support of the spirits that walk on earth to awaken and therefore connect consciously and subconsciously to the whole. And so there have been all these efforts up into now, and they're going to continue to be. So this is just another effort, which is what I'm trying to explain. So, that up until now we have seen, obviously we know them or call them maybe as light workers, shamans, medicine women, medicine men, we as unseen energies that are coming in to support thunder beings, angels, however, spirit guides, animal guides, nature spirits, all of these sort of supporting the energies to flow into recognizing our intended state of being so that we can connect to the whole consciously and subconsciously. And so we just moved through, like I said, this new conception, this new energy, which is the beginning is now. And so now now the energies are actually taking our energy centers and wanting them to connect, sort of like a plug, plugging into a socket. And so that is basically what's happening now, and will start happening now. And so some of us are going to be moving it through it right now, and some of us are going to start moving through it later, and it's going to be subtle for some and very quick for others. And obviously the experiences are going to be different for every person, but this is to explain what is starting to happen. So if you've already experienced it, I'd love to hear comments, or just send me an email. I'd love to hear your experience with it, whether it's now or later, at whatever point you see this video. But it is going to be definitely over the next year. There are going to be many that are going to be experiencing what I'm talking about now. And so what does this mean? So I'm just trying to give a visual, and listening to the messages coming through. Some of them are in pictures. So just trying to translate that to words. So imagine from each energy center, we hold sort of a plug that is now being plugged into a socket. And so this is to realign us that much stronger, that much faster to the source, to the great spirit, to the knowing, to however our mental body needs to fathom that, so that we could have that spiral within, working together with mental, physical, and spiritual body. And so for today, I'm going to explain it as that, as a plugging into a socket. And so what is this going to look like? Well, this is going to look like our energy centers, and we'll feel them most likely from the back. And so starting from the root all the way up to the crown. Now, not to say that that is going to be the order. I think it's very dependent on the spirit, which resides in the body of whom you are walking your earth walk. It's really going to depend on that. So what will happen will be, there will be some type of a physical trauma is the words I'm hearing, but it's not going to be a trauma as in debilitating, but it is going to be a tweak. Something is going to happen. You're going to feel something. So for example, if it's your root chakra, you may feel a twinge, and it might feel like you almost can't move, almost like a pinched nerve, a pain, and it may be debilitating just for a moment. And that's the realignment, and that is the opening that is happening, so that this plug can plug in, so to speak. So it's an aid, it's a support from the energies of the whole, again, supporting our awakening, for lack of better explanation, so that we can be all that we're intended to be by the Great Spirit. And so what will happen is, yes, we will most likely move through some type of a physical feeling, and it could be intense for some and subtle for others, and it will not last long if it is intense. And then what will happen after that is this will be open. This area will be open, so that, again, this can be plugged in, so to speak, so that that connection that you are can plug in and now receive information. The flow will be that much more effortless, and there will be more clarity. There will be more knowing that is ignited within you. So it's not so much information coming in as this is a plug-in. So it's exactly how you would see if you plug something into a wall. It's receiving energy from, and then that item that's plugged in is now going to do the work it's intended to do. That's the same thing for us. We're going to be plugged in, receive an energy, and we're going to be able to do the work that we are intended to do, recognizing the gifts within, igniting us within. So just another support system so that the whole can be where its intended state is, and that is to be. And so, so back to we're talking about the root as an example. So now it's going to open up. Well, what are we going to feel after that? Okay, definitely going to, depending on how sensitive you are to energy, will depend on how you feel, obviously, and how you see it. how it appears to you. And so, for me, I could see it as an opening of a free flow energy that's coming in, and there can be feelings of achiness in that area, sensitive, definitely sensitive to different temperatures. I'm hearing sensitive depending on positions we're in. And so that sensitivity, why does it feel sensitive? And for us not to jump to the conclusion that there's something wrong with our back, or if it's, behind, if it's further up and the pain, so that we don't jump to these fear-based perceptions that something's wrong with us, that we need to go do something. And that is that these aches or pains or twinges or what we're feeling, and they'll last for a few days after this realignment happens, is because think of it as if you broke your leg and you had it in a cast for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it was, and then you take that cast off. That leg now needs to readjust. It needs to build up the strength. So it's going to be weak. And that's sort of the same thing, if you could see it as that. So we're going to feel this weakness, and that's why it's an ache. It's not going to be, oh, there's a pain and you cannot move. That's not going to be the case. It might be initially like that. That will go away, but then the next few days it will be very subtle, more of an ache, which represents the weakness. And that is just because this is a weak point, because we have not been connected this way. And this has been a connection that has been called out to us. It is they're saying, I'm hearing a plan of action. And so this is in place to support us. And so this connection is being made, and therefore through this connection, naturally, because this hasn't been something that we've experienced, it's an energy connection that is new, and therefore it is weak, and it needs to strengthen, and it needs to learn. So as it learns, just like when we create the function of new dendrites and synapses in the brain, we have to go through those physical pains in the bodies as those nerve connections are new to us. This is the same thing. It's like a new connection between a synapsis and a dendrite. And so this new flow of energy, it's exactly that. It's new. And so our physical body needs to adjust to it. So the adjustment is this achiness, is this weakness. And then as the energy flows and we acknowledge it and work through it, that will subside, and the clarity that will come through thereafter will be, I believe, unfathomable as each energy center connects with this new energy available to us, calling to us, so that we can continue to walk our path, on our earth walk, living out our mission, so to speak, or offering our gifts to the whole, because each of us obviously have our own inherent gifts meant to come out and come forward to connect with everyone. And that is us becoming, returning to the medicine wheel of life and taking our spoke, and therefore each of us have our own inherent gifts connected to that spoke. And so that's what this is all about. And so as we acknowledge this for what it is, then we can connect more with what the messages are kind of trying to come through. If we just coin it as, oh, this is just back pain, or this is just neck pain, or headache, and we don't acknowledge it and center ourselves within stillness to listen to the messages trying to come through, it's just going to keep being achy until we recognize what it is and receive the messages and follow through with the messages that are coming through. And so this, and also, obviously even stretching can help, breathing exercises, because we do have to physically move through the discomforts of this in order for us to wholly harness this new energy that we are being connected to. And so, so this is what I wanted to explain today, as this is what I feel we're starting with. We just completed the 3 moons following the conception. And so now that the conception is complete, this new energy is like if we want to visualize it, we think of man and woman coming together, conceiving, and then the fetus growing, the human being growing that will come through. And so it's the same idea. So this energy was conceived over the three moons. So the conception occurred, 3 moons for it to attach, as we think of pregnancy, attached to the lining. And so it's attached, it's strong, it's growing. And so this will be a process as it grows, and the birth will be as many as possible, connecting to this energy available to us in order for us to gain more clarity and ignite brighter, and therefore touch others, share with one another. So learn, teach, share. And so again, would love to hear comments if it's coming through. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. So yes, love to you, blue light unto you, and thank you for watching.